You're listening to Life Beyond the Finish Line on the voice of NASA Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Orlandina Balan, aka the Fitter Woman, and today we're talking about what it really means to build strength from struggle with Loli Ragusa, a wellness pro who's walked every step of her journey in purpose. So let's, amen, that's you. So let's talk about this journey. You moved to the States, started going through life, you got pregnant, became a mom, but you had to take a pause for 3 years. And so you stopped your training, stopped your fitness because you said, you thought you had to.
Didn't have the knowledge back there. I thought being pregnant, I couldn't train. So I paused my membership in the gym. And and believe it or not, because I paused the membership there, I never went back to that gym either. But after that, as soon as I could bring my son with me, so I start training. I start training from home first,
Mhm,
and then I start training, in the gym and bringing my son with me to the daycare in the gym.
mhm,
But the thing is, it was more difficult then because I was a single mother back then. So I say to myself, no, I cannot be doing this the way I'm doing right now. I have to change my life. I went back to school. I started working 2 jobs at school, and it still was finding time for myself to go to the gym. So I maybe have time for 45 minutes to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, but that's why it took me longer, but I did it. I did it. And, but it's a blessing being a
mhm,
mother because the problem was after what happened with my grandma, I was having PCOS. So the
mm.
doctors used to tell me that I wasn't able to have kids.
Okay. And a lot of
So
women hear that when they have PCOS, they're not able to conceive. Wow.
mm-hmm,
Wow.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, as soon as I came here, so I looked for a good GYN, and he told me, listen, I'm gonna put you in birth control to balance your hormones, and as soon as you're ready to have a baby, so you can just stop the birth control, and that's how I did it. So I was with the birth control for a couple years, and then at one time I say, I think I'm ready. And then I stopped the medication, and then I became pregnant, and my whole life changed. It changed in one way, but it changed for better in another way as well,
Mhm,
because it gave me that powerful driven as a mother to
mhm,
fight and be the best version of myself in anything that I do and anything that I have to do in my life, just
mhm.
to make a better life for my son. And that's the way I see it every single day.
And we see that in you. You are driven. That's why whenever I see you, I look at you, I'm like, you are driven. And as people get to hear more and more about your story, they get to see why. Like, you've had this drive within you from a very young age. So now you come to the States and to make a life for yourself working multiple jobs, being a single mom. But everything you've done, it's by choices. So now you were juggling school, working multiple jobs, you're a single mom. How did you make the time to be consistent? And how did you stay motivated on those days that we know you were exhausted? Like, no doubt about it. What did you do to be like, okay, what do I have to do?
So the thing with the gym and the healthy lifestyle, I see it as a therapy as well. So that was my balance for me to have with my body and my life, and that's how I have seen it for all my years.
Mm,
You can have problems, you can have anxiety, you can be sick. When you get your time to go to the gym, you're gonna go, even though if you're tired, when you're coming out of the gym, you're coming much, much better, in a better mood. You're gonna be happier because you're creating that hormone, that all that energy you're creating it in the gym. So it's life. I say every day that you go to the gym, you you adding life to your life,
that's right.
you
That's
know. So that's
because
how I see it. Even I need it. I always say I need to go and work out, not just for looks,
mhm,
for my mind, to
yes.
have balance in my mind. I have, even right now I'm very busy, and I need it. I look for it. because it's the time with myself. It's the only time that I have for me
Hmm.
to have balance in my life.
That is true. Because you work with so many clients, you have your family as well. So when do you step away? So that is your me time. And I feel the same way. Like I feel like I'm my best self when I go to the gym. I work out because I'm working with students. I'm doing this. You put out a lot. So you do need time to, as they say, fill your own cup and replenish and 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 take care of things such as that. So now you decide to compete. How did that happen?
So it was a friend of mine. So since I was 11, I've been eating healthy and going to the gym. And then this friend of mine, I was working in a bar, and the friend told me, "Why you don't compete?" And I was like, "What? I don't think I can do that."
Mhm.
And he was like, "You eat healthy, right?" And I say, "Yes." "You take care of what you eat?" "Yes." You go to the gym every day, and I say, yeah, it's part of me, because for me this is part of me. It wasn't, I didn't become bodybuilding because I want to become bodybuilder. I became
Yeah.
bodybuilding just to that extra push to bring my body to next level.
Correct.
And then he introduced me bodybuilding. He introduced me my first coach. And then he was in another federation, because back then they didn't have wellness in the NPC.
Mm,
So she brought me to another federation because it was more my Latina type of body.
yes.
So in 1 year I became pro. In my first show, I became pro in that federation.
That is amazing. And you don't hear that too often. You do not hear that too often.
I know.
Yeah. Because
So
yeah, go ahead.
even in so after that I came to the NPC. I went to visit Mas Ali gym in New Jersey in Patterson.
Yes, Mazali. Yes, yes.
And that's when I met Masali, and then I told him my story that I became pro in that federation right away. He was like, "That's not happening here in NPC. You have to work very hard for your pro card." And I say, "Watch me, I'm gonna be pro."
That's right. And you see, and that has been her theme from that point on. Just watch me. Oh, you say I can't? Watch me. Watch me.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
we spoke before. My mindset, I'm very driven. Whatever I put to my mind, I go all in or I don't do it. I become like this. I
Yeah.
look to
Tunnel
the
vision.
sky and I just go, okay, I don't stop until I make it happen. Let's make it happen.
So now when did you realize, did you hire a competition coach at that time?
So Mas.
Okay, Maz, you hired him. Oh, the very person that was like, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna make it like that quickly. But you're like, okay, so you're gonna help me get there. So you decide to hire him. So how did that? Was it different? Was that prepping for that show any different from prepping for an NPC show? Was there a difference between the two, or prep was prep to you?
Prep always been prep from the beginning. Yeah. The only thing is for NPC, I needed to be something that it was against my genetics.
Mm-hmm.
So I start prepping for bikini, and I needed to burn muscle that I have naturally built for
Yeah.
all my
For
years
years,
competing.
oh,
Yeah.
I would be crying. I'd be like, "You want me to do what? You want me to lose my muscles? Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, so I did bikini for 5 years, and it was harder and harder every year, because whenever I was in the beginning, I did better because I have less muscle. But every
Yeah.
time I was going into off season, me training the way I like to train and having, enjoy life a little bit more, having a better balance.
Yeah.
So my body naturally was growing, especially my legs and glutes.
Correct.
So
Because
every
that's the
time I
genetics.
start prepping, I needed to do more cardio. I needed to suffer more to trying to put my body into that division.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When I went to 116 pounds with
Oh,
Juan
girl,
Morel,
please. What?
yeah.
116? You?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
I did in Universe 4 years in a row.
Okay.
And then I say no. That's it. I'm not pushing my body more.
Anymore. I'm done. So
I will not be
now,
3 hour cardio a day.
no, 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 no. That's suffering. That's suffering. And then you're going against your genetics. So now a new division comes in, wellness, which suits your physique, and you're one of the pioneers. Like you're one of the first women to enter this. What was it like being a pioneer in that
Amazing,
division?
amazing. Because Steve, that's the owner of our gym, Steve Weinberger. So he knew my type of body and he knew I wanted to compete. And he knew I was killing myself into a division that it was in my body. So he was actually in Brazil and he called me from Brazil and he let me know, Loli, we bringing wellness to United States. I hang up the phone and screaming and I call my coach. We doing wellness in NPC. Let's go. Let's change my diet. Let's change everything. Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
That's right. And then you came out. You came out. And then take that. Next thing you know, you got your pro card. And now you're stepping on the Olympia stage. What was that like? Because so many competitors get out there and they're like, I'm going to get on the Olympia stage. Very few people get to put their feet on that stage. I'm one of those people. I've never been able to put my foot on that stage. What was that like?
So even before I went to state, I was talking and acting like an Olympian.
Ooh, yes,
And even to you, to everybody who I was talking with, I was talking like I'm going to Olympia this year.
you did. Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it happen. I remember I have like a little entry, like a VIP entry. I put it next to my nightstand, and I would never forget this. Every day I was waking up and see that Olympia entry,
Mm.
and I knew why I was waking up every day and doing everything 100%.
Mindset. Mindset. They say if you can see it, if you can visualize it, then it will be. The law of man. That's like one of the laws of manifestation, to visualize it.
Yeah. So
And
after they brought Olympia wellness to Olympia in the first year, they didn't bring wellness to the Olympia the first year that they came. So Steve said this to me. So he said, Loli, you really want to do Olympia, so you better go and look Olympia stage this year. And I say, yeah, you're right. I gonna be there. So I went there and that's when I got my ticket and everything. And then after that, I didn't stop until I got it. And I make it happen. I did 5 shows before I qualified to Olympia.
mm, mm-mm. And it's hard, folks. Like if you don't know to prep and prepare for 5 shows back to back, it takes a toll on your body and most definitely your mind. But when you're focused, like like she said, I have tunnel vision. Each show becomes just a step. It's just a step at that point. You're like, okay, I'm just one step closer. And it really, you can ask anybody who competes. A lot of times people fall out after the first one. They're like, I'm done. To do it 5 times, it takes a special person and most definitely a specific mindset. So we're going to take a little break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about now what you have done with this drive that you had as a young person, the drive that took you to the Olympia stage, and where is it heading now?